Here the rise of liquid inside the capillary tube. The glass capillary tube having radius, now consider small r, that is vertically deep inside the aorta. In this case, it is found that here the aorta rises up inside that capillary tube up to height. Now consider here this small h. Here now consider here the angle of contact of that aorta with the glass capillary, that is theta. But due to the force of surface tension, now consider T, that is the force acting per unit length on the surface of glass capillary, which is comes in contact with the liquid meniscus. What is meant by liquid meniscus? Liquid meniscus is nothing, that is the curved surface of liquid inside the glass capillary tube, that is known as the meniscus. So here T, that is the force due to surface tension, but that is acting per unit length on this glass capillary, which is actually comes in contact with the liquid meniscus. Here liquid meniscus is the free surface. But according to Newton's third law of motion, also here this surface of glass capillary tube exert reaction force on here the liquid meniscus in the upward direction. Now resolving here this reaction force into two rectangular components. Here these two angles are opposite, so it is theta, and this component is adjacent to theta, so it is t cos theta, and this component is t sin theta. So now consider here it is the horizontal component, and this horizontal component, all horizontal components acting radially outward direction. Now consider any two horizontal components, those are along the diameter, those are equal and opposite, hence they cancel with each other. So all horizontal components get cancelled with each other. So here the net force due to the horizontal component that becomes 0. But here this is the vertical component, and here all vertical components, those are in the same directions. So all vertical components, those are added together, but it is the component acting per unit length of the liquid meniscus. So what is the total upward force acting on the liquid meniscus? That is here t cos theta into length of the liquid meniscus, and that is the circumference of the meniscus or glass capillary tube, that is 2 pi r. And this total upward force acting on the liquid meniscus, it balances the weight of liquid column inside that glass capillary tube. And here now consider weight of liquid column, that is m. M is the mass of the liquid column that is inside that glass capillary. But by writing here this mass in terms of density, we get it is here mass. What is the volume of this liquid column? Here this liquid column, that is cylindrical in shape, so volume of cylinder, that is pi r square into h. Here density of the liquid, now consider rho, and here it is the acceleration due to it. So by solving this expression, we get here the rise of liquid inside the glass capillary tube, that is 2t cos theta into R rho Z. This is the expression for rise of liquid inside the glass capillary. According to this expression, we can determine also surface tension of the liquid by using this expression. But simply observe this expression. In this case, now consider theta. Theta is the angle of contact and it is constant for given pair of liquid and solid. T is also surface tension, that is also constant. Rho is the density of liquid, that is also constant, and Z also constant. So in this case, HR is also constant. Product of HR is also constant. So in this case, we can write here the rise of liquid inside the glass capillary, that is inversely proportional to radius of that capillary. It means narrower the capillary, greater is the rise inside that capillary. Similar way, we can determine here the depth of the liquid column inside the capillary tube. Only difference is that here we get here this theta. Theta is obtuse here, but when the liquid depresses down, in this case we get theta, that is obtuse. So we get here the value of cos theta, that is negative, and in this case obviously we get here this H is negative. It means in this case we get the expression for the depression of liquid inside the glass capillary. Then we shall see about the rise of liquid in a capillary tube having the insufficient length. We have seen here, it is the glass capillary having the radius small r, that is vertically deep inside the liquid. In this case here, the rise of that liquid inside that capillary tube, that is given by this expression. Here this H is equal to 2t cos theta divided by R rho Z. But you know here it is the liquid meniscus, whose radius, it is the radius of the glass capillary tube. But now consider here the radius of the liquid meniscus, that is now consider here the capital R. It is the radius of glass capillary. And here it is the angle of contact, it is theta. So obviously this is the 90 minus theta. It is this angle, that is theta. So we get here according to the trigonometry, here the cos theta, that is equal to small r divided by capital R. So here the cos theta divided by r, that is equal to 1 divided by capital R. So substituting this value in this expression, we get H is equal to 2t divided by R rho Z. But T, rho and Z, those are constant for a given liquid. So in this case we get here this HR, that is equal to twice T divided by rho Z, and that is equal to constant. It means now consider here the glass capillary tube, that is cut some below from the liquid meniscus. In this case what happens? Is the liquid overflow? It is found that in this case here the liquid never overflow, because here the product of HR that remains constant. It means in this condition here the liquid rises up to the topmost of the glass capillary tube, and in this case here the rise of the liquid becomes, here now consider H dash, and here the radius of the meniscus get adjusted. It means H dash R, that is equal to here this HR, and that is equal to twice T divided by rho Z. It means it remains constant. It means here the glass capillary tube having the insufficient length, that is vertically deep in the liquid. In this case it is found that liquid does not overflow, but here the liquid rises up to the topmost of the glass capillary tube, and thereafter here the radius of the meniscus is adjusted. It means meniscus get, the size of the meniscus get increases. It means here that meniscus get blowing and liquid does not overflow. So in this case we get the expression H dash R, that is equal to HR, and that is equal to twice T divided by rho Z, and that is equal to constant. It means this expression we get this H dash divided by H, that is equal to R divided by capital R, and that is equal to cos theta. Then we shall discuss about difference of levels of liquid in U2. Now consider here the U tube, means shape of the tube like the U, so that is known as the U tube, having the two limbs. One is the narrower limb and other is the wider limb, having the different radii. Its radius now consider R2, and its radius now consider here the R1. And now consider here the liquid. Now consider here the water that is poured in such U tube. In this case, what happens? So obviously it is found that here the liquid level of the liquid inside the narrow tube is higher than the level of the liquid inside the wider tube. Now consider here the height of the liquid in the narrower tube, that is now consider here the H1, and in wider tube, that is now consider here the H2. So now consider here the level difference, that is obviously H. But according to the expression of the rise of the liquid in the capillary, that is H is equal to twice T cos theta divided by R rho Z. By applying this expression for this narrow tube, so we get H1, that is equal to twice T cos theta divided by R1 rho Z, because T, theta, rho and Z, that is same for both tubes. Here H2, that is equal to twice T cos theta divided by R2 rho Z. But here this H1, that is larger than H2, so here the level difference in both tubes or the limbs, that is H is equal to H1 minus H2, and that is equal to, by substituting their values, we get 2T cos theta divided by rho Z in bracket 1 divided by R1 minus 1 divided by R. But now consider here the pressure on the concave side in the narrower tube, that is P1, and in the wider tube, that is P2. But here this surface has the one free surface, or that is in contact with the air, and pressure on that side, that is P1, and here that is the P2. What is the pressure just below the liquid meniscus in the narrow tube? And that is obviously here this P1 minus twice T divided by R1. In the same way, here the pressure just below the liquid meniscus in the wider tube, that is P2 twice T divided by R2. So here the pressure difference between both tubes, that is del P, and that is equal to H rho Z. You have seen in the 11th standard. So that is equal to here P1 minus twice T divided by R1 minus P2 minus twice T divided by R2. And so solving this, we get here this P1 minus P2 minus twice T in bracket 1 divided by R1 minus 1 divided by R2. And so we get here this P1 minus P2, that is equal to twice T in bracket 1 divided by R1 minus 1 divided by R2 plus H rho Z. It means it is the pressure difference between the pressure difference on the concave surface in both tubes. So that pressure difference is given by using this expression. Then we shall about what happens when the glass capillary tube that is tilted through some angle. Now consider here, it is the vessel containing liquid. And now consider here the glass capillary tube that is vertically deep in that liquid. In this case, here the liquid rises up to the height h. But now consider here the same glass capillary tube that is tilted through some angle. In this case, here the height of the liquid remains same. Only here the length of the liquid inside that capillary tube get increases, and that is now considered here the small l, and here it is the height h, and here it is now considered angle alpha. So in this case, according to trigonometry, we get h divided by l, that is equal to cos alpha. So we get here the length of the liquid inside the capillary tube, that is h divided by cos alpha. This is the length of the liquid inside the capillary tube that is not vertical, it means that is tilted through the some angle alpha. That is L is equal to h divided by cos alpha. It is also found that here the glass capillary tubes having the different shapes, and such glass capillary tubes, those are dipped inside the liquid, then it is found that here the rise of the liquid in all capillary tubes that remains same when the radius of the meniscus is same. It means shape of the glass capillary tube does not affect on the rise of the liquid inside the capillary tube. Then we shall about factors affecting on surface tension. What happens when highly soluble impurity that is added in a liquid? In this case, it is found that the surface tension of the liquid increases. For example, sodium chloride that is added to the water. In this case, here the surface tension of that liquid get increases. Here the feebly soluble impurity such as alcohol or phenol, those are added in the water. In this case, here the surface tension that decreases. It means feebly soluble impurity decreases the surface tension of the water, and here the insoluble impurity such as the detergent that is added in water. In this case also, here the surface tension get decreases, and that's why detergent that is used to wash the clothes, and here the phenol and alcohol, those are used to wash the bathrooms or the toilets. It means here the highly soluble impurity increases the surface tension, whereas feebly and the insoluble impurity those decreases the surface tension. Here the surface tension also decreases with increase in temperature. Now consider here T suffix 0, that is the surface tension at the temperature 0 degree Celsius. Then what is the surface tension at the temperature T degree Celsius? And that is given by using this expression T equal to T suffix 0 in bracket 1 minus alpha T, or here this alpha del theta. What is alpha? Is the temperature coefficient of the liquid. It means here the surface tension at the temperature T degree Celsius, that is T equal to T suffix 0 in bracket 1 minus alpha. But now consider here the temperature change is very small. In this case, what happens here, this T minus T suffix 0, that is equal to del T, and that is equal to T suffix 0 alpha into T. It means in this case here the rate of change of surface tension with temperature, that is equal to minus alpha T suffix 0, and that's why in this case here the graph of surface tension versus temperature, we get here the straight line having the negative slope. Okay, thanks.